My name is Mary Chaplook, and I'm a science teacher at Travis Ranch School in the Placentia-Yorba Linda Unified School District. I have several strategies to support student absences, and these work well for short-term absences, but also for long-term absences of a week or longer. I started out by taking OpenSciEd's Google Slides as a foundation and added in much more detail so that it almost becomes a script for both the teacher and the student. All of the talking points that OpenSciEd placed in the comments under the Google Slides have been turned into their own slides, often with fly-ins for the responses I am hoping to elicit from students. These daily instructional slides are typed in a way that anyone can follow along and complete the work independently. This helps students when they are absent, special education teachers helping students during a study hall, parents wanting to help at home, or even a new teacher at my site. Hands-on activities and live demonstrations have been videoed so that students who miss class on these days can still follow along and complete the work as well. These are embedded on the slideshows. This strategy has also helped me out if there is a special schedule with shorter class periods and having students do the activity just isn't feasible. Students access my daily instructional slides from a WAG Google slide, which stands for Week at a Glance. This is posted to my Google Classroom stream. I link each day's instructional slides and a quick rundown of what pages should be completed in student workbooks. All handouts are linked to the daily instructional slides as well, so they may print them at home. The WAG can be reused from year to year once it has been developed the first time through, because page numbers will not change from year to year. Let me show you some sample instructional slides and my WAG slideshow.
Here we have a sample slideshow. This is from 8th grade, Unit 1, Lesson 2. And they all start out with a warm-up slide, just like this when they come in. When the bell rings, they'll have about 3 minutes to complete the task, where they are answering the question in their notebook and answering it. And then an example of a fly-in, go full screen here. So the next slide could be the plan, letting them know what's coming up next. Continuing to show them the setup for a lab they would be doing. And then a turn and talk is typically where I would do the fly-ins, where I turn the notes from the bottom into actual slides. That way a student following along at home understands what we talked about in class. So this would be a turn and talk where I give them a moment to turn and talk, and then the answer would come in, letting them know what we were hoping that they would be discussing. Here you would see a slide that lets them know what they could print as far as the handout and where it should be glued into their notebook. And here's an example of students who might have missed a lab. There's always a slide that says absent, and then it lets them know what they can be watching. For this particular lab, there were actually 2 possible independent variables. So for some students, their independent variable might have been speed. Here's a video.
And now we have speed versus average force, peak force in a collision.
Sometimes I'll show that handout.
We will start with a slow push.
And then I'll conduct the experiment. Other times I'll have students model for me. But here I'm showing them what's happening, and then I'm writing it on the handout. That way they know what they should be recording on their handout.
Slow push.
For students who had the other independent variable, I also recorded data for them to record on a video. Here's an example of a WAG for Unit 3. And what it shows you is each day a link to the instructional slides. If they were to click that, it would take them to the slides that I went through with the class. However, they could easily follow along independently. It also lets them know exactly what pages we did in their notebook. That way they know what they can be doing. All of those papers can be downloaded straight from the instructional slides of the day. I also like to put what we graded in class and then other important information coming up, as well as days that they need to make sure that they have the proper technology with them in class.